Yes, I'm Göran Beijer. I'm the CEO of Dicot. Dicot is a preclinical drug development company based in Uppsala, Sweden. And our area of focus is sexual dysfunction among men. And in our case, that means erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. We are a listed company on the Spotlight Stock Exchange in Stockholm since a year back. We have a market cap of roughly 6 million euros. And we just performed the rights issue to bring money in to continue the preclinical work that we're in the middle of. And that was successfully done, oversubscribed by 240%. So if I try to put that into a context, I would like to illustrate that with this picture. 70 is the new 50. This is based upon a study done at the University of Gothenburg a couple of years back, comparing how men at the age of 70 feel today compared to 34 years back. And as you can see from some of these data, men feel happier, they feel healthier, they physically have more action, they go to the gym, etc., much more than for 30 years back. And they also have an active sex life nowadays at the age of 70. If you go 40 years back, many men felt that the sex life was done at that age. So with a better health, of course, you would like to live your life fuller. You would like to perhaps work longer. You would like to travel more. You also would like to have a good relationship with your partner and an active sex life. But looking at one of the indications, erectile dysfunction, this is a problem that comes at a fairly early stage. Even at the age of 40, men suffer from erectile functions from time to time. And these problems goes up into the ages of 70, 80 to a much higher level. So at average, you can say it's about 50% of men between 40 and 70 years old that suffer from erectile problems from time to time. The reason for this is, of course, a lot of underlying factors like other diseases, cardiovascular diseases. You get treatment sometimes that kills your sex life. Diabetes, prostate cancer surgery, and also psychological problems. So all in all, erectile dysfunction as an indication, it affects millions of men globally. It's a problem which you see in all countries. And there are famous drugs on the market today. Viagra is probably an extremely well-known brand you all heard of. Cialis is one other huge drug, and there are a couple of others in the same family of PDE5 inhibitors. All in all, they have a sales of $5 billion annually. So it's a huge success. Even though these drugs are not working perfectly, there are side effects, and in some cases, heavy side effects. But basically a headache, flashing, you get a red face, get dizzy, and you can definitely feel sort of like a hangover the day after. And the thing is with these drugs, you have to take them in advance of sexual activity, 30 to 60 minutes in advance, which means you have to plan your sexual activity. And the effects seen for a couple of hours, and then it declines. So it's a pretty short half-life. Premature ejaculation, our other indication, is a little bit different. It affects basically 5 to 7% of all men above 20 years. And there is only one drug at the market today. It's called Prilogy. It's registered and sold in Europe in 30 countries, but it's not approved and sold in US. In US, there are a lot of other products, aids that actually help men from ejaculating too early, a lot of off-label products. And the market per se is worth globally approximately 1.5 billion US dollars, and it's a pretty rapid growing market. Both these indication, PD and EDMP, can cause sort of a loss of self-esteem. This is something that has worked since you were young. You haven't maybe thought about it, but suddenly it doesn't work. And that has been shown in many studies, actually, that this causes a route into depression, and in many cases also a disturbed relationship with your partner, and a lot of divorces at late stage, over 60 years. I saw some interesting data some time back. So these indications are a little bit more important and serious than you might think of. It's also so that many men, they don't even see the doctor, even if they have it diagnosed. This is a bit taboo to talk about still, and they feel ashamed to go and see the doctor. So there are probably a lot of men who needs treatment but are not treated today. Looking then at the overall demographics, looking at people 60 plus, and see as a percentage of the total population globally, you can see that this is growing also quite substantially up to 2050. And I'm showing these slides just to say that this is already today is a huge market. So hundreds of millions of people suffering from these problems, and it will continue to grow. What we focus on, we have a drug candidate which we call Libiguin, and this candidate addresses both these indications, premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction. It's a huge market, several hundred millions of men or even billions of men. And the most interesting thing with this drug is that there is a long-lasting effect. The effect will be from 10 to 14 days, which will take away the need for planning of sexual activity. And the basis for the drug candidate, that's research done 15 years back. A professor called Jarl Wikberg, he's a medical doctor and a pharmacologist based in Uppsala. He actually met some researchers at a conference in South Africa 15 years back. Some of the people there told him about a decoction used at Madagascar that men take or drink a couple of days when they have erectile problems, and then the effect will last 10 to 14 days. Professor Wikberg was really interested in this, so he went to Madagascar, started to work with researchers there, interviewed men who was using this drug since long, the decoction, and the decoction is made from roots from a specific tree at Madagascar. And what he also did was to take the decoction, trying to isolate the active components of it, which was a tremendous work over several years. He found a couple of active components. He tried one of them in behavioral animal model on rats to see the effects. And he saw that the effects on rats were the same as men told about at Madagascar. After some days, the effect came, and the effect lasted for 10 to 14 days. And you can see the upper part of this slide shows the number of penetrations at various doses from day 4 to day 14. And the bottom slide shows time to ejaculation. That is also delayed in a similar way. We are working and have been working on the mechanism because we don't know the mechanism of the drug yet. We're doing studies to find out how it works. We looked at through PET studies if the molecule went into brain, but it did not. We compared with sildenafil with Viagra to see if the behavior was the same, comparing our Libiguin with sildenafil, and we saw that both drugs are driving sexual activity. You can see that the number of intromissions increased a little bit more with our drug, the penetrations, but the number of mounts when the male rat jumped on the female rat increased dramatically more with our drug. We did this just to make an understanding from the difference and try to have some hypothesis for the mechanism, and we believe it's a different mechanism than the PDE5 inhibitor. We will continue now to work with French CRO, Pelvifarm, who has a lot of experience in this field, and they probably will help us find out more about the mechanisms. In the project, we're at early stage. We're doing pharmacological studies. We're doing production upscaling. We're not using roots from Madagascar, but actually as a starting material, we use raw material from various parts of Africa. And from the raw material, we extract, and then we go for the final synthesis. So it's a semi-synthetical product. We have done some toxicology work. We'll continue that now directly when we have produced more substance. And our aim is to start phase 1 in the middle of 2021. And the business model we have is that we intend to develop the drug up to proof of concept, phase 2, to have data to prove that it works and it's safe. And at that stage, we would like to have a partner, one or several partners for various parts of the market to develop this drug into a commercial success, hopefully. We are small and we can't do this on our own, so we need a partner. So all in all, I can say, and to summarize, that we have a new, unique molecule, brand new, and we have a basis of it in the folk medicine use. And there is a huge market out there. And the pipeline in this field of erectile dysfunction is very weak. We haven't found many other competing projects. And if we can have a big difference with our molecule, having a long-lasting effect without serious side effect, that could be a fantastic journey. So, thanks a lot.